reverse. High school dunk contestant, 2019 Oak Ridge guard. Niven Glover getting up with the insane alley-oop to himself.
No, that was hard right there. I thought he went around his back, but, man, he went underneath his bottom, under his legs.
Under his quads, man.
Man, you see how high you have to get your torso up in the air there, Jenna?
It's awesome.
That is spectacular.
I'm sure you could give him a routine, Jenna, to help him be more explosive, but that's not.
I can do it right now. So what I would start with...
No, he's not watching.
Okay.
People are watching us talk about him.
Niven Glover. This is the alley-oop to himself. This is between the legs for the reverse.
Oh, and with the offhand. Oh, that is...
My only problem is, why is everyone so close on the court?
And why are they
Can we get a little space? I think they did a little lighting, a little music.
How about this? Game winner. Volleyball play.
This is
intramural.
Nick's
Co-ed
offering right here off the inbound.
Yeah, a little UC Riverside playoff game, we've been told. How about that?
Right.
.3 on the clock. Not time for a catch and shoot.
Oh, yeah. I played intramurals in college.
Me
3
too.
years we won the championship.
I'm not supposed to talk about my athletic career, but that's how I shattered my arm. My final dunk attempt of my life. No. This guy was talking trash into the game, tried to dunk on him, and ended up breaking my arm. That was it, and I retired.
Did you say you tried to dunk on him, or he tried to dunk on you?
No, I tried. Man, see, I got the video. I've shown you the video. I can jump.
To the NFL, you get to show video, I get to show video.
Oh, my God,
Here we
Jenna.
Do you ever use those drugs that make you hallucinate?
Hallucinate.
No. What did I say?
Hallucinate.
The Raiders are
you just
hoping to
didn't hear the
bounce
hot
back
part.
from a dismal 4-win season last year. Antonio Brown should help with at least some of that turnaround. Traded to Oakland a few months ago. Some worried how Brown will fit into the Raiders' team dynamic. Head coach Jon Gruden, not that worried.
I'm not going to get into the relationship business. You know, I think Brown is a great guy. I love having him here. Derek's a great guy. You can't rush a relationship. You just don't have a great relationship in 3 weeks or 2 months. Something that you got to earn and you got to really work at. And that's why it's important that we spend time together. But I'm a little worn out with all the relationships and all the things that really don't matter right now.
All right, CC, how do you see this all playing out?
Yeah, of course you should be worn out because you let 2 great guys, Amari Cooper, impeccable citizen, great locker room guy, not a blemish on his, maybe, oh, he didn't play quite as well as I'd like, or he did his rookie season. Khalil Mack, same thing, ditto. What kind of person? Great. What kind of teammate? Great. What kind of maintenance? Little to none.
Yeah.
Great football player. So now you're not in the relationship business. Well, really? Well, you got a 53-man roster. You just decided to trade and pay. And when you trade and pay, what you do is you empower that person to whatever they want to do. So whatever type of mark that Antonio wants to have on that locker room, he is going to have it. And for me, what happened in Pittsburgh, he did not learn a lesson. Ben Roethlisberger goes to the press conference, apologizes. Man, I'm sorry, I could have been better. He sends out a two-face.
Yep.
Don't seem like he's learned from that. And I got a news flash for him. They getting ready to lose a lot of games. So you're getting ready to see his face on that TV. And this is not about money. This is not about getting the ball. This is all about AB. And he will mess up in Oakland. Like, that's inevitable. All right, because no one wants to lose, no one wants to be embarrassed, and he's going to have plenty of situations where him and Jon Gruden, they better work on their relationship, because we're going to have every camera on them on the sidelines, and this is what I'm guaranteeing you. On this day, this will not go well in Oakland. I haven't seen a team put together the way they put this team together and be successful.
Well, and I'm not saying that an NFL head coach needs a relationship, a real relationship with all of his players, or maybe even most of his players. But unless you're Bill Belichick, I'm yet to see a successful NFL head coach not have a successful relationship, or at least a working real relationship with his best players and the players he chose. Jon Gruden made decision to trade for Antonio Brown. And by the way, given what the little compensation they had to give up for him, I think it's a smart choice. I think they got good value there and chose to pay Antonio Brown. But the reason I advocated for that, and I think it was smart, was assuming that Jon Gruden would then recognize, but it is now my job. This is one of my top priorities, to create a real relationship between he and I, hands-on, where we understand each other. because there are super successful, super talented people that are high maintenance. And that is part of, now the ideal situation is super successful, super talented, no maintenance. Everyone wants that. But it doesn't usually happen that way, or doesn't always happen that way. When you choose to bring in a guy who the day before you signed him had blue hair and a blonde goatee, you might know, okay, this guy's a little different, and I'm going to have to maybe adjust what is comfortable for me to create a relationship with him if we are going to be pulling in the same direction. And because here's what I do know. AB is going to have a relationship with, at the very least, all the other receivers, all the people in his position room. And don't you want Jon Gruden, him to be sending your message, him to be your spokesperson in that room, because you can't have a relationship with everyone? He would want to be, I would think, he would want, much like Dennis Green wanted from you, to be one of his top lieutenants.
No, that was expected.
Right.
That was expected. We're not paying you this money for your receiving ability. We're paying you to be a leader. We're paying you to be a positive influence. And look at the influence he had on Juju Smith-Schuster. Well, what did he do to him? Threw him under the bus for no reason. So not only you and the coach not being in sync, do I trust him with 5 or 6 other young receivers? Because, listen, I know that the holy grail in sports is, oh, this guy is the first to show up. He's the last to leave. He's a hard worker. But let me tell you, I'm not going to sacrifice being a jerk, all right? I'm not going to sacrifice throwing your teammates under the bus. I'm not going to sacrifice that just for the thing that I want. Oh, man, this guy is the hardest worker on the team. No, no, no. We need more than that, AB. And we need AB of his first 7 years, not the last couple years.
But you might not get the AB of the first 7 years, because the guy that made AB part of who he is, Ben Roethlisberger, first ballot Hall of Famer, he doesn't have him anymore. Now, he's an incredible wide receiver, but is there something to the fact that once his production dips, which it might with Derek Carr throwing the ball, that now some of that other off-the-field stuff, the noise or whatever it is,
greatest quarterback I ever had, Warren Moon. I make sure people always know that. People ask me a question, who's the best? Warren Moon is not even close. Only played 2 seasons with him, 244 catches, 24 touchdowns. I would not be in the Hall of Fame, wouldn't be on TV if it wasn't for Warren Moon. If you think a great quarterback doesn't make a difference, you don't know anything about receiving or playing football. Ben Roethlisberger will make a difference. But this is the NFL. Sure, I can get anybody 100 catches. I mean, I can scheme you up. I can throw you the football. We got that all around the league. But greatness, having the type of instinct that him and Ben were able to develop, man, he was double teamed for a long time, and him and Ben would be able to work it out. So I know Ben has taken a lot of bad press. But as a quarterback, I'm a Ben Roethlisberger fan. He can throw the ball anywhere on the field. There's not a system that he can't operate in, and he is going to deliver the football week in, week out, year in, year out. So, Jenna, you are right. There is a huge drop-off in the skill level of who he's working with now.
And that's where the relationship becomes important.
Sure.
Because it's Gruden's job to prepare him for that. I'm going to use you as an example, C, but not your football career, your television career. It was you, before you were here, you were on a different show, different type of format with a different type of viewership. We were starting a show that I think there was monster truck racing on in this time slot before we came on. It was our boss's job to prepare you. Hey, listen, early on, don't worry about the numbers. Early on, understand you're in a different situation. You have a different responsibility here. Don't let it get in your head. Don't let it get you down. That is what Jon Gruden needs to be communicating to Antonio Brown, I would think, on a daily basis. We believe in Derek Carr. We think Derek Carr is going to be great, but he's not Ben Roethlisberger yet. You're going to have some spots where you think you were open for a touchdown. You might have been. He's going to miss you. I need you to build him up rather than tear him down. If Jon Gruden's not communicating that, he's setting himself up to fail.
I want people, if you're a fan, I want you to go through, Google Jon Gruden, and I want you to Google former players. And I want you to read the lack of players that have commented on Jon Gruden in their relationship. Jon Gruden is right. He's not into relationships. And to me, it prevents you from being a great coach, because you have to have some give and take. And to me, that's one thing I believe that people are going to find out about Jon Gruden. It's a lot about him. It's not about the other people. That's the way it has been. That's why you don't see a lot of players comment. Players who played under Gruden. That's why you don't see guys who he might have coached been, oh, man, I like to go coach with him. I like to be with Jon Gruden. There's a reason why he's not into relationships.
All right, let's break it there. Coming up, can the Toronto Raptors hold on to Kawhi if they make the finals? That is next on First Things First.